Most people complain that British trains are too expensive. And they're right. A last-minute standard class ticket from London to Edinburgh can cost you £200. No meal. No luxury. Just a seat and a prayer the train's on time. But there's another side to British Rail that almost nobody talks about. Trains where dinner is served by a chef who once cooked for the President of the United States. Trains where a single cabin costs more than a week at the Ritz. Trains where the carriage you're sitting in once carried royalty through pre-war Europe, and the champagne has been flowing ever since. These aren't commuter trains. They're not even really trains in the way most people think of trains. They're something else entirely. And once you see what's actually out there, the £200 ticket to Edinburgh starts to feel like the cheap option. Number 7. The Jacobite Steam Train Fort William to Mallaig, Scotland, from £69. There's a train in Scotland that most people have already seen. They just don't know it. The Glenfinnan Viaduct. 21 stone arches curving through the Highland mist. A steam engine pulling weathered carriages across it, the smoke trailing behind like something out of another century. If you watched any of the Harry Potter films, you've seen this exact image. Warner Brothers borrowed the train, the route, and the viaduct, and turned it into the Hogwarts Express. The real version is called the Jacobite. And it has been making this run since 1984. Fort William to Mallaig. 84 miles round trip through some of the most extreme geography in Britain. The journey starts near Ben Nevis, the highest mountain in the country. It passes Loch Morar, the deepest freshwater loch in Britain. It skirts the edge of Loch Out, the lake they used as Dumbledore's final resting place in the films. And it crosses that viaduct, sometimes pausing on it so passengers can take in the view toward Loch Shiel spread out below. The price for a standard seat is £69. First class is £105. A private compartment, the kind with a sliding door, exactly as you'd imagine Hogwarts Express compartments to look, runs £425 for up to 6 people. The tickets sell out months in advance, every season, every year. It only runs May to October. And there are people who have been trying to book it for years. The train itself is not the same locomotive used in the films. But the viaduct is real. The route is real. And on board, the trolley sells chocolate frogs and Bertie Bott's every flavor beans. Some things, it turns out, don't need to be fictional to feel magical. Number 6. Caledonian SLEPR London to the Scottish Highlands. From £35 seated / up to £470 for a private room. This one works differently from every other train on this list. You board in London at 9 in the evening. By 10, you're moving north through the darkness. By the time you open your eyes, the landscape outside your window has completely changed. Hills. Lochs. Empty moorlands stretching in every direction. And the train is still going, deeper into Scotland, toward places that feel genuinely far from the rest of the world. This is the Caledonian Sleeper. 6 nights a week, it connects London Euston to Edinburgh, Glasgow, Inverness, Aberdeen, and Fort William. And it does something no other train in Britain does, it gives you the night back. The cheapest option is a reclining seat. £35. Functional. But the reason people talk about this train is the Caledonian Double. A private room with a real double bed, an ensuite shower and toilet, a Scottish breakfast delivered to your room in the morning, and access to a club car stocked with single malt whiskies and Scottish gin through the night. That runs up to £470 per person. Consider what that actually replaces. A flight to Inverness, a taxi from the airport, a hotel for the night. Or, close your eyes in central London, wake up in the Highlands, already rested, already there. The first sleeping car ever to run in Britain made this same journey. February 1873. 150 years of the same overnight route, still running, still carrying people north through the dark. Some trains have history. This one has continuity. Number 5, Lanier First Class, London to Edinburgh, the East Coast Main Line, from £84 first class advance / up to £205 anytime. This one isn't a luxury excursion. It's a regular scheduled service. And that's precisely what makes it interesting. London King's Cross to Edinburgh Waverley. 393 miles. The fastest trains do it in 4 hours and 8 minutes at speeds of up to 125 miles per hour. In standard class, if you book 12 weeks ahead, you might pay £25. Book on the day and the same seat costs nearly £200. The UK has some of the most expensive walk-up rail fares in Europe. The same route, with comparable distance, would cost a fraction in Germany or Spain. That contrast is worth sitting with for a moment. But in first class, booked ahead, the experience shifts. Wider seats. More legroom. Complimentary food and drinks delivered to your seat throughout the journey. Access to the first-class lounges at King's Cross and Edinburgh Waverley before you board. And then there's the route itself. After Newcastle, heading north, the East Coast Main Line runs right along the North Sea coast. Cliffs. Beaches. The North Sea grey and enormous to the right. Villages sitting exactly where they always have. It's one of the most underrated stretches of train scenery in Britain, and almost nobody talks about it because most people are looking at their phones. Sit on the right side heading north. It's worth it. Number 4. Northern BLLE Regional UK Departures. From £365 up to £800 plus per person. There is one thing the Northern Belle does that no other luxury train in the world does. When you sit down, they hand you a menu. A real menu. And you choose what you want to eat. From a kitchen on a moving train, a chef produces your order, your specific order, and brings it to your table. Every other luxury train in existence gives you a set menu. The Northern Belle gives you a la carte. It's the only one. The train departs from 62 stations across Britain. Birmingham, Manchester, Liverpool, Edinburgh, Newcastle, Leeds, wherever you are, there's likely a departure point within reach. Day trips. Special events. Christmas journeys where the destination is kept secret until you board. The carriages are from the 1930s, restored by craftspeople who worked on the Venice Simplon Orient Express. 7 cars, each named after an English castle. The interiors are covered in mosaics, murals, and marquetry panels, some made by the same family firm that created panels for the original Northern Belle when it ran in 1933. The visual continuity is deliberate. This train remembers what it was. The chef who now runs the food program has cooked for royalty, for presidents, and for Madonna. The food includes royal Siberian caviar and hand-poured champagne on certain journeys. The Settle to Carlisle steam route, voted one of the top 10 train journeys in the world, includes caviar as standard. Prices start at around £365. The upper end reaches £800 and beyond. In 2024, Condé Nast Traveller readers voted it the finest luxury British train and one of the top 10 train journeys on the planet. The train doesn't argue with that assessment. Number 3. British Pullman, Belmond, London Victoria day trips, from £425 up to £650 plus per person. Before you board the British Pullman, there is a moment on the platform at London Victoria that sets the tone for everything that follows. A trio of singers in period costume performs on the platform. Stewards in liveried uniforms guide passengers to their carriages. And the train waiting for you, 11 cars of polished brass, marquetry woodwork, silk lampshades, and crystal glasses, looks exactly as it did in 1925. Because it is exactly as it did in 1925. These are original carriages. Not recreations, not restorations to modern specification. The real thing, kept in working condition, still running. The oldest carriage, named Ibis, is 100 years old this year. It ran on the original Orient Express across Europe. It ran on the White Star Line service that carried passengers to Southampton to board transatlantic ships. Ships including the Titanic. And now it carries passengers through the Kent countryside for a 5-course lunch. The route is a day trip. London Victoria out through Kent or toward Bath or Oxford or a country estate, and back to London by evening. No overnight stay. No luggage beyond what you carry. Just a day in a carriage that has seen more history than most museums. On selected dates, Michelin-starred chefs join for exclusive dinners. Raymond Blanc, Michel Roux Jr. These evenings sell out within days of being announced. The dress code is enforced. No jeans. No trainers. No baseball caps. Smart is the minimum. Formal is welcomed. You cannot, as they say, be overdressed on the British Pullman. Sister train to the Venice Simplon Orient Express. Used by the British royal family. Featured in films. Still running every month, from February to December, from Platform 2 at Victoria. Number 2, Venice Simplon Orient Express, UK departure, London to Venice, Paris, Istanbul, from £3,800 per person. The most famous train in the world leaves from London. Not many people know that part. The Venice Simplon Orient Express, the train from the Agatha Christie novel, the train that became shorthand for a specific kind of old-world glamour, begins its UK leg at London Victoria. Passengers board the British Pullman, travel through the English countryside to the coast, cross to Calais, and step onto the Vesuvio itself. 2 trains. 1 continuous journey into Europe. The route continues through Paris, through the Alps, through Venice. Extended journeys reach Istanbul. Cabins range from standard berths to grand suites that cost tens of thousands of pounds per person. 31 original 1920s Pullman carriages. A piano bar. Formal dining with menus that change by the regions passing outside. Polished marquetry in every direction. The kind of service that hasn't changed because it was done correctly the first time. A one-night European run starts at around £3,800 per person. A grand suite on a marquee route pushes well past £25,000. But the thing that stays with people isn't the price. It's the feeling that the world outside the window is changing, countryside to mountains to water, and none of it feels quite real. Like traveling through a version of Europe that still belongs to an earlier century. That feeling is, apparently, worth a great deal. Number 1. Belmond Royal SCOTSMA in Edinburgh and the Scottish Highlands, from £6,400 up to £28,000 per person. There is a train in Scotland with a spa car. Not a gym. Not a massage chair. A full spa car. 2 treatment rooms. A resident therapist who administers facials and massages while the train moves through the Highlands. The spa is branded by Dior. This is the Royal Scotsman. And it is, without question, the most expensive train journey in the United Kingdom. It carries 36 passengers. 36. And the staff-to-passenger ratio is 3:1. You will not wait for anything on this train. The journey starts and ends in Edinburgh. Multi-night itineraries run from 2 nights to 7, looping through the Scottish Highlands on routes that vary by season: the Kyle Line, the West Highland Line, the Highland Main Line. The landscape seen from the observation car at the rear of the train, the open-air platform with armchairs and a bar, is the kind of landscape that makes people go quiet. The carriages are Edwardian. Mahogany walls. Rich fabrics. Brass fittings polished to a shine. The train is often described as a country house hotel that happens to move, and that description is accurate. Every night, the train is stabled in a quiet siding. You sleep without moving. You wake up somewhere different. The dining is formal on alternate evenings. Ladies wear cocktail attire. Men wear dark suits, tuxedos, or kilts, which can be rented in Edinburgh if needed. Off-train excursions are included in the price. Clay pigeon shooting on a private estate, with tea afterwards with the laird. Private whiskey distillery tours. Highland wool mills. Castle visits. The kind of experiences that money can arrange but presence can only earn. The base price for a 2-night journey starts at £6,400 per person. The Dior Wellness Journey, a specialized program combining the spa car with curated wellness excursions, costs £20,000 for one person. £28,000 for 2. For comparison, that is more than a week at the Ritz in London. More than a luxury safari in Kenya. More than many people's annual salary. And the train is fully booked, most departures, most of the season, every year. Which tells you something about what people will pay for when it's genuinely extraordinary. 10 miles of track costs more to maintain in Britain than almost anywhere else in Europe. The infrastructure bill is real. The fares that pay for it are real. And the frustration of a £200 ticket for a delayed commuter train is entirely justified. But somewhere alongside all of that, there are carriages a century old still being polished every morning. There are chefs preparing 5-course meals in kitchens the size of a wardrobe. There are passengers watching the Highlands pass from open-air observation decks with a glass of single malt in hand. British Rail is many things. Expensive in ways that feel unfair, and extraordinary in ways that feel impossible. 7 trains. 7 different answers to the question of what a journey can actually be. If one of these surprised you, leave a comment. Which one would you actually book, if money wasn't the obstacle? And if you want more stories about the places and experiences that don't usually make it into the conversation, subscribe. There's a lot more where this came from.